We are working our way through linear inequalities, trying to find the solutions to all of life's mysteries. That's right. Sure wish I had this technology back in 2004. I'd have a whole lot more viewers. Anyway, we got, what do we got going on here? Negative x over 2 plus 1 is greater than 0 and less than or equal to 8. Okay, so we're going to break this up into two separate pieces here, just because I said so. I think it's probably the best way to go. What do we do with this 1 right here? Well, we'll take it over to the left and make it a negative 1. Now we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of half, or you can think of it as multiplying by 2 to both sides. So we're going to put a 2 here. We need to put a parentheses around that. I meant to make that a black. Yeah, I'm trying to use some kind of color code and multiplying both sides by the reciprocal of a half. Okay, so the coefficient of x is really a half, even though we write it as x over 2. Simple enough. So 2 times negative 1 is negative, whoa, doggies, negative 2. And therefore we're left with x is greater than negative, whoa, something's fishy. X is greater than negative 2. Let me look back up here at something. Negative x over 2 plus 1. Oh, I see what happened. Yeah. Somehow, mysteriously, that got left off. Yes, it did. Okay. This is where we are here. Okay. We have a coefficient. Okay, this coefficient's negative 1. And it needs to be a positive 1. So we're going to multiply both sides by negative 1. Now we could have taken care of all this in one stroke, but I didn't do it. Now remember, we're multiplying through on both sides by negative. That means we must flip the sign. We must flip the sign. Signs flip when we're multiplying. Okay. So we have x is less than 2. X is less than 2. Alright, let's keep that in mind. Let's go back up here. Now let's look at this side of our equation. Looking at that side of the equation. Alright, we'll write it back out again. Negative x over 2 plus 1 is less than or equal to 8. Less than or equal to 8. I'm saying one thing and doing another. Okay, so let's take this constant over here to the right. So we have negative x over 2 is less than or equal to 8 minus 1. 8 minus 1. All right. So that becomes a 7. We're just rewriting. Now what are we going to do? We're going to multiply through by negative 2 to both sides. And I'm going to just try to save some space here because I notice we're running out of space. Okay, so instead of rewriting this, so we're left with x is, I multiplied through by a negative 2. Hey, that kind of rhymes. So when you multiply through by a negative, right, we got to flip the sign here. We got to flip it. So don't flip out on me. Alright, and now we're left with x is greater than or equal to negative 14. x is greater than or equal to negative 14. Let's go ahead and plot this. So we got a picture to look at. So we have x is greater than or equal to negative 14 and x is less than 2. Alright, so here's negative 14. We're going to put that right there. And we're going to put 2. Yes, x is less than 2. Now you notice in this inequality here, it doesn't include it, so we got to keep that in mind. Okay, so it doesn't include it. So we'll put a circle here, and then x is greater than or equal to, so we're going to put a solid dot. And it's everything in between. So that's going to be our solution set. So let's go ahead and write this in interval notation. Negative 14 and 2. Okay, so it's everything between negative 14, including negative 14 and 2. Alright, simple enough. Man, that was 6 minutes. Alright, I will see you in the next problem, and we're going to be looking at the word and or. Alright.